Hi, welcome to UnitizerBasic. I'm going to provide a brief introduction to the program interface. Other tutorials show functionalities in more detail. For now, I'll just give you the big picture. First, to work with UnitizerBasic, you need a project folder containing your sequentially named image files. The most common and detailed image type is the TIFF file, and that's the one we recommend, but other image type files may be used. If you have PDFs, you can first use our PDF to TIFF utility to create your individual project files. And you find that program here under Tools. We're going to need some files to work with, so let's just use one of our tools so I can show you how to do that. It's called PDF to TIFF. Move it in the frame here so you can see it. And this is just a small utility to put in, at this point, just a single PDF. So I'm looking for that someplace. Here's a DIY guide I have. And I'll open that in the file. And then I'm going to have an output folder. Probably just put it on my desktop. So new folder, I'll call it output. Select that. Okay, and I'm going to want to prefix, let's just call this test. I'll put a dash there. And what that will do is separate, there'll be a dash, then there'll be 4 digits total, and it'll start with number 1. TIFF resolution is set at 192, and we have found that that is the best resolution for speed and detail. You can change that, but you could make your program run very slow or just put out bad TIFF files, so you don't want to do that. Okay, so then you just press convert. This could take some time. While it's processing, it shows you which percentage of processing it's accomplished. And now we're at 28, now 34%. The speed it processes at will be determined by the size of your CPU, how much RAM you have, how fast is your hard drive, that sort of thing. So it could go very quickly or slowly depending on those factors. I'm not using a really super duper computer right now to show you this, and it's processing pretty well, so you should be okay no matter what. So we are at 63%, 69%. We're at 80. Now the total elapsed time here is only a couple minutes, so even though I've cut out the boring details, it's not that slow of a process. Okay, so when it is at 100%, it'll say ready, and you'll see this little button here with an icon. You click that, and it will open the folder for you with the images that you just created. So as you can see, I have in my folder that I created, output folder, I have a collection of, let's see, 87 different TIFF files. Now this little extra feature down here I'll show you is that if you want to put this someplace else other than on your desktop, you can actually move it using this little utility here. Okay, so to start the process, click on the small button with the folder icon next to the project folder box and browse to your project folder. So we just helped you create one of those in another exercise, but for us it will be called the output folder. Now notice a few things. All of these files are sequentially named, which is the ideal. Your project folder is named in this little window here, and that's important. Okay, so this is where you are when you just get started. Also know that your project folder could be on your desktop, it could be on a shared network drive, it doesn't really matter where it is. You can work from any place. So here's how it works. You can select a single project file. So if you have a document that's a letter and there's no attachments, that may be what you do. Okay, and then you'll click Add. and it will create your first record in perfect format for upload. The Add button can also be activated by using the Enter key. So I don't have to use my mouse for everything. I select this, and then I just press Enter, and it should create another record. If your document has multiple pages, you just click and then drag. If you're using a laptop, you just move your finger down on your navigation pad, or you can do the same thing with the left button of your mouse. Select multiple pages and then click Add again. If you have many single files to process, you could click each individual file and then click the Add key, as you have been doing so far. Better yet, though, under the Mode Selection area, you see that here, you can click the single radio button. Then all you need to do is to click on each file name in the Project Files window to add a new record. As you can see, the Add button is now disabled during this particular mode, but it says click the file name. So you see that you left off here on number 14. So say you have a dozen or I don't know, say 6 individual files, and you don't want to go through that process for each one. So you could just click 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and that has automatically added them as individual entries. When you are ready to go back to the multi-mode, because you have perhaps a document with attachments or multiple pages, all you have to do is go back to the Mode Selection area and click Multi. And as you can see, everything with the multi functionality has returned. So you left off on test 20, so you go to the next document in line and you highlight the span as you did before, and there you go. So you can switch between two. If you come across one single document, you don't have to go through the whole single selection. You just do it with one. And if you come to a span, you click single and go one at a time like that. Some important points that you should know about. The project folder, which is this, project files, should only contain image files, and preferably they should be sequentially named. You could have sequentially named files that have different prefixes. I mean, you could mix a batch like that, but the whole purpose of doing things to load them into summation is that the documents, for the most part, if many documents, they're usually sequentially named. So although you will intend perhaps to have OCR files attached as records, you're not going to want those in the same folder as the TIFF or other images while you're processing the DII file. The OCRs should be created after, and you can use the utility we have here. It's called Opus OCR, or used to be, and now it's called Otter OCR, but you can use that, and it will take each of these images and OCR them, and it will place those OCRs wherever you decide. You tell it what to do. Summation usually looks for OCR pages within the same folder as the images. This is its default. To learn more about safety features and utilities, how to register your purchase product, look at some of our other tutorials located on the same web page. Thank you.